Okay, so hello everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar. Today, my name is Den. I am one of your learning partners from Lamudi, Philippines, and together with me is my co-learning partner, Clar.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all safe wherever you are.
Yeah, and so we're really excited to have you guys here with us today. And as you can see right now, today we're going to be talking about something really interesting, right? So we're going to talk about the Lamudi Academy Guide to Preparing for Your Dream Home. Okay, but before we get into what our discussion will be today, I would just like to introduce to you who Lamudi is and what is the vision and mission behind Lamudi. So we our vision and mission is to be the Philippines' number one real estate partner by creating transparency, building trust, and promoting professionalism in the buying, selling, and renting experience. And we succeed by helping others find their dream property online. All right, so we're not just here to empower our real estate professionals, but also our property seekers as well. Okay, and to guide us through some of our session guidelines for today's webinar, Clark, please walk them through our session guidelines.
Okay, so for everyone here on the Zoom call, please turn your cameras on. Let's make this session as engaging as possible. And if you have any questions, you can also share them using the chat box. At shout out nga po pala sa mga participants natin na sa Zoom. So we have about 15 participants on Zoom, and also we have 6 participants on Facebook. Pwede rin po kayo mag-comment or your comment or type in your questions or insights sa Facebook. All right. So to minimize background noise, please stay on mute. And as early as now, no, I mean, for everybody, please keep your name as your participant name here on Zoom. And also, lastly, we are going to be sending you a feedback form. Please give it a submission, just 1 to 2 minutes, and your feedback is highly valued. And also inviting everyone to visit our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also please feel free to post any content that you have with us and use the hashtags Lamudi Academy and LA Learning Solutions.
Okay, so like what Clara said, guys, we are also live on Facebook. So if you're posting on any of these social media platforms, please feel free to tag us and use the hashtags that you see on your screen right now. Okay, so just to get us started for today, what does our roadmap look like? All right, so first we're going to talk about what are the essential tips or the factors that you should consider when you are looking for properties. And then after that, we will be sharing with you how does Lamudi work for its property seekers? How can you maximize its features? And how can you maximize it in terms of searching for your dream property? Okay, and now let's begin by talking about the essential tips or finding the right home and real estate broker. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to be talking about is the location, right? And why is that? Because, I'm sure all of us here in the Zoom call or even those in our Facebook Live, they would agree, right, Clara, that buying a house or a property is not an overnight decision. You know,
Yes.
and it's one of the biggest milestones, diba, as a Filipino, since it's a huge financial investment. And, as a buyer, you want to be cautious when it comes to scrutinizing and also being careful when you're looking for houses. So, Clark, I want to ask you, is location one of the top factors that you look for when you're searching for properties?
Yes, as a matter of fact, no, then I'd like to share with everyone. I am actually living in Mandaluyong, and you know what I took consideration of is the accessibility of this area from all around the cities surrounding Mandaluyong. Kasi ang sabi nila, no, Mandaluyong is, the heart or the center of everything else. Kaya yun talaga, no, location is very, very important to me. As well as, ang Lamudi office natin nasa Makati lang. So,
Right.
ganyan ka-important ang location.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure it's the same no with our participants or yung mga kasama natin sa Zoom call or in Facebook Live today is location is the first thing that they look for. Pero ano nga ba about the location are the things that you need to consider. Okay, so number one is the geography. All right. Bakit kaya geography? It's because it's one of the things that affect, 'di ba, the house prices. And if you have a family, kung if you're joining today and you know you're looking for a property and you're looking to raise your children there, the geography also has a big effect. Is it also a big factor, right? And apart from that, so apart from the geography, the location rin kasi also affects the climate of where you will be living, right? So the climate or the weather where you will be staying has to agree with your family. And you know, you could also consider or you should also consider natural hazards, diba? Such as fires and floods. So for example, kunyari I'm looking for a property tapos I asked people na, uy, maganda ba dito? Maganda ba yung kapag lumipat ako in this type of or in this location? I normally hear Clar na, ay, ano, wag dyan kasi madalas bumaha
Oo.
dyan. 'Di ba? So, yung mga ganong tips from other property seekers and or ay nako, oh, maganda dyan kasi accessible yan sa mga mall, sa grocery store. So yung mga ganon, you can also ask other property seekers apart from doing your own research, 'di ba? Yeah, and next is also your proximity to work. Ayun. So it's one of the things that Clar actually explained
Mhm.
earlier na.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oo.
So you're
Kailangan talaga accessible. So, sorry that then no also to share with everyone dito kasi sa Mandaluyong, I'm living right beside EDSA. So,
mhm,
madaling-madali para sa akin. Pwede ako mag-LRT, pwede rin ako mag-bus. But of course, with the current situation, medyo limited tayo doon. Pero
right.
it's always taken into consideration when I was planning pa lang.
Mhm. Right. And for me, actually, Clara and I are in the same location. Sabi ni Jerome, go Mandaluyong. Tama.
Oo,
Ayan. So,
Tiger City.
very accessible
Oo.
everywhere in malls, hospitals, schools. Baka sabihin nila may bias tayo sa Mandaluyong, di ba? But just kidding, guys. And for me, for example, so obviously my work location is also in Makati. And nung nagko-commute pa ako before, I would also take a jeep and a bus. Ayan.
Oo.
So, jeep pa EDSA, tapos bus to go to Ayala. So, that's also one of the things na you consider, di ba? Is gaano ba siya kalapit sa work ko?
Mm-mm.
Because your commute, your travel to work will affect your budget and the time that you spend with your family. So make sure that you choose a location that is a comfortable distance from your job. And for example, meron din kayong mga family members that are working, right? So kapag pwede na tayo mag-work on-site or if most of us are already working on-site, you also want to take that into consideration so you can find a compromise. Okay, so kunyari, magkapatid kami ni Clar. Tapos I'm working in Makati and let's say she's working in Quezon City.
Mm-mm.
Right? So, maybe Mandaluyong might be a good city for us kasi nasa gitna siya ng Quezon City and Makati. Or, you know, you want to take those things into consideration. Okay.
To share with
And,
everyone too, sorry then no, kasi you talked about siblings and I remember my sister was used to work in BGC. Eh, di ba
mm,
BGC is very near sa atin. So,
right,
same thing, had to take consideration of where my family is also going to be working
right.
and the such.
Okay. All right. So, really good. You know, thank you for sharing that story. Rather, Clar, I hope yung mga participants natin can also share their stories on the chat box, diba? Kung kayo, iniisip nyo rin yung proximity to work with you, your siblings, maybe your spouse, let us know on the chat. Okay. And next is your proximity to family and friends. Yan. So tayo, you know, in our culture, we really need a solid support system, right?
Mhm.
And your ideal home, you know, if it's something that's important to you, you want it to be near your friends, near your family, or kung meron kang mga, I know some people, for example, na yung mga ninang ko, kunyari, kasi mga college best friends yan ni mama. So, you know, even though we're in different cities, malapit lang. Kumbaga, it just takes us like mga 13 minutes to get to my ninang's place. So, you know, even in those situations, 'di ba? we really need that support system. So it's also one of the things that we considered when we moved here. And last but not the least is the community. Ayan. So when you're looking for your dream home, syempre hindi lang yung when you're picturing yourself living in that property, right, Lar? You're not just picturing the structure itself, but also you picture yourself how am I gonna live in this place? Right? So you want to take into consideration na malapit ba to sa mga hospital, sa mga school if you have kids, right? Is it near the market, grocery stores, drugstores, or anything that any establishment that you need to go to all the time, right? And you also want to consider as well the amenities that the property entails. So to give you guys an example, yung mga houses in a subdivision, for instance, they give you free access to swimming pools, clubhouse, and playgrounds. So if those things, diba, sound enticing to you, or things that matter to you, you also want to consider that. Right? So, ganyan ka-importante ang location. Hindi lang yung price talaga ng property yung naapektuhan, kundi everything around you, actually, is
Yes.
affected by where you move.
Actually, nang naisip ko nga ano, 'pag community, iniisip ko
Mm-hmm.
talaga agad yung living ng aking mga alaga. Ang aking mga children na, my dogs and also my cats. So,
Mm-hmm.
if that, we have to have that community for them din.
Right?
And, parks or
Mm-hmm.
nearby or parang pet-friendly establishments, mga
Mm-hmm.
ganyan.
Right. I remember, Claire, you also mentioned kasi 'di ba you have some pets with you there. So
Yes.
you look for you specifically look for a property na you can walk with them in the
Of
morning.
course, of course. Kasi kawawa naman sila. They're stuck here at home. So, every morning, meron kaming schedule. I'll walk them, just 15 minutes, 15 to
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes. And then, ayun, masaya na sila. Then, they'll sleep all day.
All right. Ayan, so kung meron din sa inyo sa call here that are mga pet lovers, let us know on the chat. Okay. Ayan. So, we just talked about the location, and now let's talk about property types. Okay. So, let's talk about what is the right type of property for me. Kasi, for example, as a first-time property seeker,
Mhm.
ako, I have not bought a property yet. So when I started looking at all of these different residential properties, nakaka-overwhelm, 'di ba? Yung iba't ibang terms na nakikita ko, or ano ba yung pinagkaiba nito dito,
Oo.
right? So it's always confusing. So we're here to help you with that, to let you know what is the right type of property for you. Okay. And before we get into that, so the first property type that we will be talking about is based on its attachment to adjacent houses. So you're seeing two different photos here, and we just want to hear from you guys. All right. So what do you think is this type of property? Just to, gauge kung alam ba natin kung anong property type na to. All right. So let us know by answering the poll. And I think, Clar, no, dadagdagan tayo dito sa Zoom. What about in
Oo.
Facebook Live?
So, on Facebook, we are at 8. So,
Okay.
to those who are on Facebook, no, you can also guess what type of property you see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Comment po kayo sa Facebook comments section and let us know what you think.
Okay. All right. So letting this poll or keeping this poll open for 5 more seconds, guys. Okay. Five, four, three, two, and one. Okay, so base sa mga sagot natin, most of you said that this is a single attached, and some of you said that it's a single detached. So halos hati yung sagot nila. But most of you guys are correct. So this is a what you call a single attached house. All right. So itong klase ng property type na ito, right, is built on one side of the lot, and one of the features that you normally find about this, it is affordable, and it's ideal for your starter unit. Okay, and the best way for you to really visualize this is that since it's single attached, so you share a wall with your neighbor, and it really maximizes the lot space. Okay, so For example, you're the type of person who really value community, 'di ba? Kasi normally residents of these houses, they enjoy a tight-knit relationship with their neighbors because of the proximity. Okay, so if you're looking for a starter unit, if you're looking just for, for an affordable property type, then you can look into a single attached house. Ikaw, Clar, when you were looking at, different houses, have you
Mhm.
seen property types such as this?
Yes, actually, I've seen property types like that, no? Very familiar siya, especially in back at home in Bicol. So yung mga taga Bicol dyan, Bicol represent. Pero, kasi there are villages that are very similar that
Right.
have these types of houses. And yes, you're correct. It's very affordable and ideal for starter families also. Ayan. So, ang
Mm-hmm.
ganda. Maganda yung ganitong houses. Best for starter families.
Okay. And kung meron tayong single attached, we also have what we call the single detached. Okay, so this one naman is more on the higher price range, and it offers you more privacy. So this is suitable for big lots, and it is expandable. So like what's in the description here, this house is detached from the adjacent properties kasi it's built in the middle of the lot. And there's also a large space in the front or at the back, or actually on both sides of the property. And this, if you want to build a garden, for example, diba? Is that something that's interesting to you, Clar? Yeah, if
Nako.
once you buy a property, would you like to have your own garden?
Nako then, again, going back to, back home sa Bicol,
Mm-hmm.
meron kaming lawn and we have, plants ng sile, plants na any type of plants. And really, I was also encouraged by my mom to do the same.
Right.
So, dahil plantita na si mama, ako din, naging plantita na din.
Right, right. So, marami akong kilala ngayon, na yung mga tita ko rin, mga plantita,
Diba?
na rin sila, yan. So, if you wanna have your own garden, or if you have siguro a car, 'di ba? If you have two vehicles, you might wanna look into a single detached house para ma-maximize niyo yung space. Okay. So of course, if we have property types based on its attachment to adjacent houses, we also have property types in terms of the number of stories. Okay, so stories, hindi ito yung kwento, ha. Alright. Okay, sana natawa kayo guys. I'm just making you guys laugh. But do you guys know what type of property this is? Okay, let us know on the
Interesting.
chat. Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's see.
Right. And I'm really interested to hear from our participants if they know what type of property this is based on the number of floors or the number of stories.
Parang maganda yung ganyang property type din.
Mm-hmm.
Bet
Oh, is this the
ko.
kind of property type that you're looking for?
Actually. All right, so we got an answer here from Jerome. So nag-direct message siya. Jerome says bungalow? Question
Mm-hmm.
mark. Not sure about my
Okay.
spelling. Okay lang yun, Jerome. Wala naman po tayong spelling, wrong spelled, hindi to classroom. But yes, Jerome, oh, then go ahead.
Yes, and also I
Correct?
also got a private message here, or a direct message rather, from Casey, who also says bungalow. So, ayan, great job guys. That is correct. So
Bigyan
this is
natin ng
actually
reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so this is actually a bungalow space. So what are the features of that type of property? Sorry, let me just go back there. Right. So um for this property type, it's a single story. 'Di ba? So meaning lahat ng rooms, your bedroom,
Mhm.
yung bathroom, living room are all on the ground floor. And this is relatively easier to expand and to renovate, 'di ba? So kunyari gusto mong ipa-renovate yung iba't ibang parts ng property mo or iba't ibang rooms, right? This is easier kasi lahat sila nasa isang floor lang, 'di ba, Clar? And apart from that, if you have family members who have limited mobility, this is
Mhm.
also ideal for you. Ayan. But for this one, for a bungalow type of property, this normally requires a larger parcel of land than its counterpart, which we're about to present to you guys.
Also
Ayan.
to share, no, then we have an answer here on our Facebook Live from Flora Bungalow daw. So congrats, Flora, you got it right. Bigyan kita ng heart reaction.
Yes. And again, itong mga type ng property na to, ako for example, I would prefer
Mhm.
this kasi hindi ko na kailangan mag up and down stairs.
Agree,
Right?
right?
Oo, lakad ka na lang all around the area. So, yan, yun yung mga naririnig nating pag sinabing bungalow property type. And this is also one of the things na madalas ko ring marinig, Clar, or makita
Mhm.
rather on the online listings that I see. Yon. And syempre, kung mayroong bungalow, we also have its counterpart, which is a multi-story. Yan. So, ang ganda, di ba? Ang ganda ng mga picture natin dito. But this multi-story, or this is also known actually as a multi-level home, basically it has two or more floors. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, normally yung living room, kitchen would be in the bottom, or sorry, in the first floor, pati yung dining area. And then yung mga bedroom would be upstairs. Okay, so this is a good option then yung para sa mga families, for big families who want to extend their space pero they have a limited parcel of land. All right. So, what do you think about this type of property, Clar?
So then, again, going back to Bicol, balik ako ng
Uh-huh.
balik ng Bicol, but we do have a multi-story property because we are a big family. We're a
Mm-hmm.
family of seven, and ganun talaga, no? Like you said, the rooms are on the second floor. Ang mga nasa baba lang is, the maid's room, and the common areas, but
Right.
lahat nasa taas. And really, this gives us a lot of space to
Mm-hmm.
mess around the house and make kulit
Right.
our parents.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that I can actually relate to that, Clara, kasi in my grandmother's house naman. So hindi naman kayo sa Bicol, sa Cavite
Mhm.
naman kami. It's also a multi-story house. And it has three floors kasi apat na magkakapatid yung sa side nung lola ko na yon. Right? So pareho tayo na like the kitchen, the dining area, it's all in the first floor, and then all of the bedrooms are nasa taas. Ayan. So, sabi nga ni Clar on the chat, Cavite represents. So, kung meron po sa atin dito or also from Cavite, ayan, we'd like to see you guys. And looking at our Zoom call right now, no, Clar, we don't have uh, any participants with their cameras on. So, if you guys can turn on your cameras, we'd love to see you, or we'd love to see your faces.
Yes, of course. Kailangan namin makita yung reactions nyo, and if you're smiling. Hi, Jerome. Nice to see you.
Okay. So, and I hope you guys are enjoying our webinar so far. If you have any comments, any insights as well, let us know on the chat box. And for our viewers on Facebook, hey guys, you can also leave your comments on our Facebook Live, and Clar here will be reading them out for us. Okay. So, kung meron tayong mga property type, one of the questions then that we normally hear for first-time property seekers is, ano nga ba yung mga payment options ko? Alright. And we typically have four payment options that are, available to us. So I'm gonna be talking about each of these and talking about the advantages for each of these payment options. And you can, after this, you can think about what suits you best. Alright. So first, let's get into yung sinasabi nilang spot cash payment. Alright, so itong spot cash payment, they say that this is the easiest and fastest way for you to buy a property in any part of the Philippines. Kasi you have to pay it in spot cash. Alright, so this means na yung buyer, ikaw, you pay the price of the property in a short period of time in cash, which is usually or which is normally 1 month after the date of reservation. So kung magsa-spot cash payment ka, ano ba yung mga advantages nito? So normally, you can enjoy discounts, and you don't have to worry about long-term payment, and you can process and receive your documents, your real estate documents, in a short period of time. All right. So if you are, if you already have that budget for you, then you can opt for this spot cash payment. Okay. So, however, one tip that one tip is that if you can purchase a property in spot cash, you'd want to analyze your budget and your state of finances first before making any decisions, right? So, Claire, imagine if you can get a property now in spot cash, diba? That'd be really great, right?
Right. Tapos meron namang short period of time na pwedeng mag-pay. One
Right?
month, am I correct then?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's a shorter period of time, 'di ba, to pay
Pwede.
for that property. So, if kung matagal mo na 'tong pinag-iipunan, why not,
Oo.
right?
Why not?
Mm.
Take the
Okay.
chance.
That's correct. And the second payment option that we have here is bank financing. Okay, so dito naman, this is after you pay the down payment, the buyer loans the balance or ikaw you loan the balance of the property from a bank. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, that the bank pays the developer or the owner of the real estate property, and then ikaw as a buyer, ikaw yung magbabayad dun sa bank, and the property will be under the bank's name as their collateral, just so you know if you stop paying, for example, sa kanila nakapangalan. Ayan. So ang advantage naman ng bank financing, and I know a lot of people who opt for bank financing, is longer yung payment terms compared to in-house financing. One if you have that advantage, one disadvantage lang of, you might want to consider if you're doing bank financing is that since you mas mahaba yung terms niya, the more you end up paying in terms of interest rates. And usually when it comes to banks, they have strict bank terms of approval, and when it comes to payments as well. Ayan. So, you can research what's the best bank option for you if you are really looking into using bank financing. Okay. And then the third option that you see here is pag-ibig naman. So, syempre sana lahat tayo dito ay merong pag-ibig. All right. But itong pag-ibig na to, pag-ibig financing is actually one of the most popular among Filipinos because of the longer terms and the lower interest rates. Okay, so in this option naman, as a buyer or ikaw as a property buyer, you will pay the equity first, then the balance will be financed through pag-ibig. So, payment can be up to 30 years. Yon. So that's actually one of its advantages. Is mas mahaba yung payment terms. It can be up to 30 years. Home buyers, you can opt for short-term loans, and it has lower interest rates. Ayan. So those are some of the advantages of pag-ibig financing. And one tip that we can share with you is you can ask the agent, or kunyari if you're buying in a subdivision, diba? You can ask the agent if the development you're eyeing accepts pag-ibig financial, kasi not all developments accepts this type of financing. Yan. And last but not the least is deferred cash payment. So actually, Clar, when I was looking at the different payment options, it was the first time that I've heard of this deferred cash payment. Ikaw, narinig mo na ba to before?
I have never heard of it then. Actually, no one when I saw this on your screen, sabi ko, I'm so looking forward to ano kaya yung deferred cash payment.
All
Parang
right.
for me, parang wala ka nang kailangang i-worry. Something like that.
Okay, so I will get into explaining na, no, what is the deferred cash payment. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, the total price of a real estate property will be divided equally in a given period of time. So, kung may mga nakikita kayo na no down payment required, no interest, then most definitely that's a deferred cash payment method. Okay, so ang advantage nito is that you don't have interest rates, no down payment, no need to worry about long-term payments. But because it's shorter term, you will have bigger monthly payments. Ayan. So, just a tip for everyone here again, may mga developments kasi na they have a preferred home financing option. So, it's really better to ask your real estate agent first on what kind of home financing option is available for the property that you want to purchase. Okay, ayan. So those are yan. So those are the payment options here. Okay, so I think we received the question here on the chat. So don't worry, we're just gonna go through the first part of our discussion, and then we will answer the questions that we're currently getting on our direct message. All right, but just keep them coming in, guys. We love hearing your insights and getting your questions. Okay, so now we've talked about the property types, the payment options. Now, I wanna know from you, or hear from you again. So we're gonna be launching another poll here, and I wanna ask you, meron ba kayong mga trusted consultant when you are looking for properties? Ayan, so we're getting some responses here on
Half of
our
them.
poll. Kung kayo sa Facebook, if you're watching, feel free to also comment. You have, if you have one, just type yes, no, or kung di kayo sure what a trusted consultant is, you can also say that on the comment. All right. So keeping the poll open for 5 more seconds. Medyo marami na tayong nakuhang sagot. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let me just end the poll here. And according to your responses, 50% of you said no, and also I'm not sure. And only a few answered yes. All right, so later on, we're gonna share with you sino nga ba yung trusted consultant or who can be your trusted consultant while you're looking for properties. All right. But before that, when you're looking at the property or when you're already inspecting kumbaga, a property, there are things na baka ma-overlook mo during an inspection even though you're a good observer, right? So for example, kami ni Clar, 'di ba? So for me minsan I feel like okay na ako sa attention to detail ko pero may mga nami-miss pa rin ako. So Clar, she's my trusted colleague. All right, and telling me na then we forgot this detail, this and
Mhm.
that. All right. So yung trusted consultant na sinasabi natin, this can be actually your spouse, this can be your sibling, maybe a friend na you trust that will give you an honest opinion, for instance. And they can help you point out the flaws and also the strengths, right, of the property that you're looking for. So this person, this trusted consultant can assess whether the property is ideal for your family. So again, it doesn't have to be, anyone. It can actually be your spouse, your friend, your sibling that you really trust and that's really good in details. So just to give you a rundown of the things that you need or some of the things that you need to inspect when you're inspecting a property. Number 1 is the walls. All right. So you want to examine its thickness to assess the house's structural integrity and how much noise it could block. Okay. And then next is the roof. Ayan. So tingnan natin if the roof is, if there are leaks or if it has any weak spots. And then also the floor plan. Ayan. So when it comes to floor plan kasi, there are some families who prefer big living areas and small kitchens, while others prefer the opposite, right? So you want to inspect the floor plan if it is to your liking. You also want to measure the space to ensure na yung furniture na bibilin natin and also the appliances that you would bring along in the property would fit. Okay. So ikaw, Clar, bago ka lumipat, on where you're residing at the moment,
Mhm.
did you check muna kasya ba dito yung sofa na dadalhin ko, yung TV, yung ref?
Actually, then when we moved here, we didn't have a lot of appliances pa. What we really thought of is yung mga furniture like the beds that we already have. So, ang tiningnan namin, like what you said here, parang may checklist tayo, no? Yes,
Right.
lahat, walls, roof, although cemento lang naman to, floor plan, yes, locks. And of course,
Right.
hindi mawawala yung safety or yung emergency exits as well. So yun, pati yung plumbing, and yung tatay ko kasi very critical sa, electricity, yung electric
Mm-hmm.
kasi, yung importance ng mga mga bulbs, ng mga
Right.
wires. So tiningnan niya talaga yon, and at least no, may go signal na from the parents. So yun na yung time na we found the right home. Wow.
Ayan. So, just hearing from that, Laura, looks like your
Mhm.
dad is meticulous when it comes to details.
That's
Diba?
right.
So, for example, ayan, si Clar, di ba? We heard her dad checks even yung mga light bulbs. So, if you have that kind of friend or even your parents, di ba? You can take them with you kapag nag-i-inspect ka na ng property.
Oo. Yes, kailangan. Para, I mean, apart from having a second opinion, no, meron ka ding second eye to look for, some things that you have to, work on. Let's say cracked walls, or even yung mga painting if you want to be very meticulous talaga. So,
Mm-mm.
yep, it's good to have that second person with you para makita niyo lahat talaga, everything of the
Right.
property.
Right, right. And apart from the floor plan or the other things that's written here, you also want to check the locks and gates. Ayan, so very important yan kasi that's your security eh. So you want to check if it's sturdy and kung tingin mo you can also check gaano ba kabilis palitan yung mga locks na to. Right? So you also want to check that. Also the plumbing, one of the most important things to check. So you want to check out for pipe leaks, maybe clogged drains or yung mga toilet flush if it's working, right? And you can also actually watch out for signs of water damage, so mold, rotten wood, yung mga ganyan, if it has a basement or an attic. And another thing is ventilation. Okay, so ideally, sa kitchen area or in the dining area, meron siyang windows.
Mhm.
Okay, para kapag nagluluto tayo, 'di ba? May lalabasan yung usok. All right, or if it has an exhaust fan. And having windows in your house or in that property also helps reduce your electricity bills. And so this reduces your electricity bill kasi it brings in the breeze eh, 'di ba? You don't have to open your aircon all the time lalo na if you're gonna move in a location na medyo malamig naman, 'di ba? So you also want to take that into consideration. Okay. And then for outdoor areas, so you also want to check if the garage could hold your vehicle, if you have a car, and if there's enough space for your laundry. 'Diba? So kung if you're a big family, syempre mas marami yung laundry natin. So you also want to check if yung sampayan, if you have kids, if if they could play around the area. And last but not the least is the community. Yan. So check if you're comfortable with the proximity to your future neighbors' homes. You can also evaluate yung mga little things such as the traffic noise, the roads, flood risk, garbage collection, ano ba yung schedule ng
Schedule.
garbage collection, di ba? Kung merong mga jogging or bike lanes, ayan, dito sa where Clara and I live here in Mandaluyong, we have bike lanes na, right?
Mm-mm.
Around
Yes.
around the city. Ayun. And also, gaya ng sabi ni Clark kanina, if there are any pet restrictions, if you're a pet lover, you also want to check on that. Okay. All right. So now that we've talked about the property, we've been focusing on the property. Now let's talk about your real estate broker. Okay, kasi here most buyers normally assume the responsibility of computing the cost, negotiating the price, working on legal paperwork, 'di ba? And while this has been successful, in many cases, experts would still recommend for you to hire a real estate broker. Okay. And if you're wondering, ano nga bang magagawa ng real estate broker na to for me? So, a quick summary before we get into the specific points is that these brokers can actually process and explain yung mga crucial details, such as property prices, the taxes that are involved, and they can take care of the documents pertinent to the title transfership. Alright, kumbaga sila na yung nagdi-deal with the nitty-gritty of the transaction or kung gusto mo maging sigurado sa mga steps that you will be taking. Okay, so what you want to remember is that brokers, what they're there for is to make the home buying process easier for you. one of the things that they can help you with is referrals. Ayan. So for example, even if you already have a property in mind, a referral can actually refer you other presumably better houses and lots. 'Di ba? So, dahil mas alam nila yung market, mas alam nila yung property, they can refer better properties for you based on what you tell them, or based on what you tell them what your needs are. Ayan. And another thing is that, and I think Clara knows this as well, no? So, an experienced broker, they typically have connections. Okay, so,
Yes. Oo.
kunyari, I think si Clara yung nagkwento sa akin nito, meron siyang friend who owns a condo who wanted to do interior design. So, yung broker niya nag-recommend, right?
Oo. And typically ganun talaga meron na kasi they've worked with so many clients na they build their networks off of, off of their expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Marami na talaga silang network contacts. So
Right.
maganda talaga 'yon if you have a contact, and also if you would like to ask them more of the services that they know they can provide.
Mm-hmm.
Meron at meron talaga 'yan.
Right. And apart from condo, for example,
Mhm.
bibili ka rin ng bahay, 'di ba? And you wanna do, let's say, landscaping on
Oo,
the yard.
meron
So they
'yon.
can refer someone to you. Ayan. And then again, brokers are very very well connected. Number 2 is price negotiation. Okay. So once you've found that property, yung broker mo can actually help you negotiate the price of the property kasi they have considerable experience na eh when it comes to selling houses and lots, and they know how to push for a better deal. Ayan. Third naman is that you get reliable services. So, did you guys know na ang mga brokers natin actually, they undergo a licensure exam that is regulated by the Professional Regulation Commission, or PRC. Okay, so you can be rest assured na they follow a strict code of ethics, and they are reliable. And last but not the least is that they can offer you expert guidance. So for us kasi that are not I mean for me, for example, 'di ba? I am not a broker. So, I'm not an expert when it comes to real estate laws. Pero sila, they're already experts in that. So, if you really just want to make your buying experience hassle-free, and if you want to save time and prevent problems, then you can get a real estate broker, right? So sobrang daming benefits, no, Clar.
Yes.
Apart, if you're hiring a real estate broker.
Madami talaga, and hindi lang ito limited sa mga napapakita natin, right?
Mm-hmm.
With
Right.
more conversations, more questions that you want to ask, madami at madaming magagawang solutions ang mga real estate brokers natin.
Right. Okay, so now if you also want to take that extra step, 'di ba? If you want to check if your broker is trustworthy. So if you're looking at our platform, meron kaming um verified by Lamudi badge. Okay, so we already check it from our end, but if you want that extra layer of protection, did you guys know that you can also check their license through PRC? Okay, so all you have to do, and you can take a photo of this link if you want. What I have to do is go to their website for the verification of license, then just type in the name of your broker, and you can check it there. All right. And another other things that you can check if your broker is trustworthy is that they offer you a balanced view. Okay? So itong mga brokers natin, you want to make sure that they have your best interest in mind, and they would tell you both the advantage or disadvantages of a property. So kapag open sila when it comes to issues, it shows that they are not cutting corners just to expedite the process. Okay, and then you also want to they also are comfortable with um discussing the terms of services. So, another thing is you can openly discuss with them the terms of their services in terms of duration, the type of services they would provide you. So overall, a real estate broker makes your transactions a breeze. Okay, so they will help you out through the most important parts of the process, like even the home inspection, they can help you with that. All right, so ayan, so those are the advantages of having a real estate broker. Okay, so now, Clark, can you share with us, since we mentioned earlier
Mhm.
that we will be answering some of the questions that we've gotten. So can you share the question with us?
Sure. All right. So one of the questions that we got, so here, well, she asked the question about the financing. Okay. So or he actually, so this is from a question from Jerome. Do developers have a favorite, type of financing? Do they prioritize bank financing versus pag-ibig loans? So,
Mm-hmm.
the answer there was actually discussed by Den a while ago. No, merong mga developers na may preferred payment types. Okay, so with that, no, we look into the trends. Ano na ba nga ba ang mga trends na ngayon? And we see that now developers are more flexible. Mas nagbibigay sila ng more payment options
Right.
and methods for property seekers.
Mm-hmm.
Ayan. All
Yeah, and
right.
I think one thing, like, just to add to what you said, gaya ng sabi mo, yung mga modes of payment today, even the developers are already aligning with that, right? So what we really recommend, like what we've mentioned earlier, is, you can ask your broker or your agent about it. Okay, so thank you for that question. Yeah, and so now we've talked about the essential tips, and now let's now proceed to talking about how can you take advantage of Lamudi's features when you're looking for your dream property.
Alright. So ngayon alam na natin kung ano yung mga property types, ano ba yung kailangan nating hanapin, what are the things that we have to look out for pag naghahanap ng property. Ngayon naman tutulungan namin kayo on how you can find your own property, and that starts with a timeline. Pag bumibili tayo ng bahay or nagre-rent tayo ng bahay, hindi siya madali, right? Buying your first home is an entire different experience. Hindi lang siya first day of school, hindi lang siya first day of college or kakagraduate, but rather a big chapter of your life. Kaya nakikita natin dito, no, it starts from where you are right now with looking into your goals, looking into your dreams, and what are your plans for the future. So with that, you start with a plan. You start with what type of house kaya ang gusto ko? Where do I see myself? What type of family am I going to bring out? And that depends on your life. But here, we're going to look at different points. So initial point, the focal point, and the search. And that ultimately brings you to the final part, which is us helping you finding your dream property. At sisimulan natin siya with the first point and the initial point, which is exploring the homepage. Now, before we get to that, no, I'd like to invite everyone pala to join me and download the app of Lamudi here on your phones. You can also do that from Google Play and App Store. So sharing the links here on the chat box as well po sa Facebook. So join me guys, download natin yung app mamaya po after ng discussion. Meron po tayong live walkthrough. Ayan. All right.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I think they can also access it on their mobile browser.
Yes, mobile browser, puntahan lang po natin lamudi.com.ph and we'll be sending to you ano ba yung website link natin. All right. So, balik tayo. Balik tayo dito sa property na hahanapin natin. So, pagka-start natin ng search, nandito na tayo sa homepage at ito ang initial point mo. For us, no, we want to find easy ways for you to look for properties. And dito sa homepage pa lang, kung nasa homepage na rin po kayo, makikita nyo meron ng ready-made tags. Right? Meron ng ready-made tags. Ano ba yung, if you're going to buy a property, if you're going to rent a property, meron na rin po. At not only that, my resources at search option na right in front of you. As you can see, we have the moving photo here in front of you. All right. So yan ang homepage. Ready for you to use it. Okay. Now, when we go to if we go to the next slide also, no, let's move on to that focal point naman. So, starting tayo sa initial point, moving now to focal point, at ito na talaga yung search page. So, ano nga ba yung search page? Pag nakikita natin yung searches natin, ultimately meron na siyang lista, right? So, listahan from start to finish. Kung ano ba yung mga results, is it in Makati? Is it the type of, is it the type of property that you're looking for? Nandyan na. Pero of course, dahil we make it easier for you to find your dream property online, we have these features: more filter, list or map view, suggestions, and as well as the thumbnails. Kasi sa
Mhm.
thumbnails, makikita nyo pa lang kung ilang photos na ang nandun. Is it a top group who is selling properties? At of course, you can use the thumbnail to heart that property. Yan.
Right. And what I notice about this, Clardo, is because when you're looking for a property, especially if you're a first-time home buyer or if you're like me, diba,
Mhm.
that's never bought a property, kapag nagsa-search ka in a platform, mahirap
Yes.
kasi ang daming options, right? But
Diba?
by having these filters, um, you can limit yung mga makikita mo, and you can tailor fit it based on what you need. And by the way, before we proceed, I just wanted to give a shout out to our Facebook Live watchers. Ayan, sa mga participants natin on Facebook Live, I saw some comments there. Yung iba nasa Zoom, tapos yung friends nila nasa Facebook. So really, really good to hear that, guys. And some of them are even watching with their partners, with their family. So thank you guys for tuning in on our Facebook Live and also to our participants here in Zoom.
Bigyan natin ng heart reaction for our 12 participants on Facebook, 13 na ngayon, and
Mm-hmm.
our 28 participants here on Zoom. Hello, everyone. All
Okay.
right. So that's right then, no? This is really the search page kasi everything is listed na, pero it can get overwhelming. All
Yep.
right. So dito naman sa next slide natin, ipapakita namin sa inyo a walkthrough, a live walkthrough, and not really a live pala, a video walkthrough of how you can use and take point on initial point as well as focal point.
Okay. So if you guys have any problems with the audio, you can let me know on the chat.
The first step in finding your dream property online is by going to the Lamudi website. Once you are on the website, you will see different tags that are ready for you to view under buy, rent, and as well as resources. Under resources, you will see journal, loan calculator, property guides, real estate trends, city guide insider, and price trends. On this homepage, you will see the search option ready for you to lock in your search. All you have to do is hover over and click buy or rent, depending on what you are looking for. Today, I am looking for an apartment to rent in the city of Makati. You'll see choices under projects and development and locations. Now, I have the results of the properties for rent in Makati.
All right. So there you have it, no. Hanggang sa focal point, nandyan na nandyan na yung listings mo, nandyan na, I mean, not really listings, sorry. Nandyan na yung search mo. Lahat ng mga lumabas sa search. All right? So thank you for sharing that. Then now let's go to the ultimate search. So when you go to the ultimate search naman, this is where you find and where you can change the filters as well. So here, no, you will see the overview, the amenities, the location, landmarks, neighborhood ratings at map view. And let's go through each one of them, no? When we start here, we're going to do the overview, and we're going to talk about the overview first and see ano nga ba yung mga nandun. Then these are descriptions of the property. Next is the amenities. Nakalista na rin siya on that on that page. And of course, location. It's easy for you to find the location dahil meron tayong map view.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, we'll have landmarks in place, ano nga ba establishments na surrounding the area, and of course, neighborhood ratings. Ayan. So
Right.
these are the features. And I'm sure like what you said then a while ago, no,
Mm-hmm.
what are the things that we have to look forward to and what to look into when buying a property? Isa na doon ang location, isa na doon yung, to be specific, no, proximity to work
Right.
as well as community, right? So it helps us, no, our website helps us find these details too.
Right. And just to add to that, I think for example, if you're someone who's looking for a specific amenity, let's say gusto mo sa hinahanap mong property may fitness center, may playground, merong available let's say gym, 'di ba? Or swimming pool for example. If you're looking for a condo unit, you can also filter those amenities through the platform. All right. So, should we play the video now?
Yes, please, then.
Okay. So again, guys, like what Clar said, if you can hear the audio, give us a thumbs up reaction on Zoom. For Facebook, naman, you can just comment, that you can hear the video. All right. So playing the video now.
Now that you have a list of properties under your initial search, you might want to narrow down your search by using the features that are on the Lamudi website. The first one we have here is the More Filter option. Once we click the More Filter option, you will see other categories that you can choose from. For example, subcategories, terms, how many bathrooms you need, what is the ideal floor area for your needs, land size, as well as amenities. Another tool that you can use and maximize is by switching to the map view. Once you click the map view, you will see properties under the map, and all you have to do is click on this to activate it. Zoom out and zoom in by looking at your ideal location. You can see how much the rents are for the properties. Once you hover over and click on the property or on the number here, it will direct you to that page, that listing. So that is how you use the map view. To go back to the list view, all you have to do is click the switch to list view. Now that we are back on the list view, you can also look here to the left and look at the nearest landmarks and also ready-made tags for apartments for rent. You can search for properties by bedroom, properties by price, as well as by amenities.
All right. So there I have it, guys. A walkthrough of that search, the focal search. Now, I think this is the best part of it all. No, we're going to give you guys a walkthrough from start to finish on how you can look for a property. And for everybody, no, this is going to be a live through using my cell phone. All right. So kung meron na po kayong app, all right, the Lamudi app, you guys can also look at that, follow with me, and if not, that's okay. But we will give you guys that idea on how you can look for your property. And let me share my screen here very quick. All right. Then, are you excited for this?
Yes, actually. So, I've been on the mobile browser and the laptop version of this, pero I'm excited to see the features on the mobile app.
All right. So for everyone, no, I am using an iPhone. So this is going to be an iOS. But again, please remember that the Lamudi app is available as well as on Android phones. Ayan. So let me go here, and now I am on the Lamudi app. Now let me share with you guys ano ba ang itsura ng Lamudi app. Here you have it, no? Naku, makikita niyo yung Among Us apps ko. But this is the Lamudi app, as you can see, guys. Right? We'll click on that and it drives me straight to Let's Search. All right, so I'm going to go to Let's Search here. And now you can see that this is already on the filters option. Very easy to use, very convenient. All I have to do here is click and press on either buy or rent. So for today's walkthrough, I am going to be looking for an apartment to rent in the city of Makati. So Makati City, all right, typing in Makati and clicking Makati Metro Manila. And once it's there here, I'm going to press done. Now that I have the location set, I can now move over to property types. Now, as I said, no, I'm going to look for a apartment for rent. So clicking apartment for property types and apartments as well for subcategories. All right. So I'm going to slow down here. Let me and pause now and see if you have any questions. Right, check natin pati ang Facebook natin. By the way, shout out to Kim Kalayag. Sabi niya pa shout out po, Ma'am Clar. All right. Any questions so far, guys? I hope you're doing great so far. And now I'm going to continue na. And this in the next part, we have this feature rental frequency. Automatic na siya dahil I clicked on the rent option here at the start. It will give me this option, no? How often do I want to rent and how frequent do I pay for this property? And I'm going to click on monthly as preferred. Next is the price range. All right, so let me check here price range, and I can choose whether from 0 pesos or to any or max. But if I want to be specific, which I will be today, I'm going to just type in 20,000. May budget tayo, guys. So press natin yung done. All right, done that you can see here. And it'll set that price range from 0 to 20,000 pesos. All right. So again, guys, you can change this around. Merong option for any if you prefer na going to the max, and if that is also good for your preferences. Next, let's go to bedrooms. All right. For me, I am going to choose one dahil ako'y single. At then right kanina, walang pag-ibig. Okay, and then next is baths. All right. So yan, price range, bedrooms and baths all set na. All I had to do is just click one or two. For me, just one bedroom is great. Baths naman, hindi ko kailangan ng tatlo or dalawa. Let me just choose one. Now, area square meter, I'm not very particular with that, and so I'm just going to click any, which is the set that it's already on automatically. Now, what if nakalimutan ko siyang tanggalin and I reviewed it, no? I can simply press reset and it'll go back to the default setting. Okay. So there you have it for area range. Now, the keywords. Ano nga ba tong keywords? What is this for? Now, if you are looking for a property with a balcony, Wi-Fi connection, all these things that the amenities even you can also put that there on the keywords. All right. So for today, I want a balcony. Kailangan ko ng fresh air after a big or a long day at work, or I need a balcony for just fresh air during the weekends. No, rethink about what is happening to my life. Nag ano pala eh, nag ano siya nag Nag-emote.
You're
Okay.
right.
Ayan. So now I have all the details set here. I'm just going to slide up or scroll up and review my filters. So again, property type set, location set, subcategories set, rental frequency, price range, bedrooms, baths, area range, and keywords. All right. Now that I'm ready, I just have to click away from the keyboard and press in search. There you have it. We have three apartments fit for my preferences and my liking. So now I'm gonna choose one here, and I think I'm really eyeing on this third one. Okay, the 14,000 monthly, located in Comembo, Makati, and it already popped up, right? So very smooth, also as well as very easy to load. Okay, so now that we have the details, I'm going to look for the location just to check, no, tama ba tong location na to? Is this really in Makati, or is this really close to my workplace? So all I have to do is hover over here or press this part, which is the Comembo Makati, and it will direct me to a map, right? Very smooth. Now, looking into it, we can also zoom in and see what are the establishments located around the property and where the property is exactly located. So corner siya of Talisay Street and JP Rizal Street extension. And I can even check, no, pag pumunta kaya ako ng work, saan kaya ako dadaan? What are the main streets here? All right.
Right. And sorry, Clara, I just
Mhm.
noticed, no, while you're going, while you're there, you can see the restaurants, the church,
Yes.
yung mga malapit na market, 'di ba? And you can easily identify kasi may icons. So that's very, very user friendly.
That's right then. And you know, reflecting back from when I first moved here in Mandaluyong, talagang nagma-map ako all the time. And I also looked at this property location here on Lamudi app kasi this is where, you know, the establishments are. Parang guide din for me. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. So there is the proper property location. Now I'm going to scroll down and see the overview. And the overview is located just right here with the type, price, bed, okay, lahat ng mga um, na filter natin during that search. And we also have the description. So it fits very well to my keyword as well. Also, no, second floor unit, semi-furnished with veranda, balcony. And here we also see the features and amenities, right? Fully furnished, floor area, unit floor number, baths, and also the subdivision name, which will be available to you once you contact the agent. Now, speaking of, you know, location and nearby property location and amenities, meron din pala siya dito sa baba, right? You can also see there, and it's highlighted with the stars. So, I think then, no, this is a more better way for them to see ano mga ba yung mga establishments nito and ano ba yung rating. Alright, kung schools ba siya, restaurants, hospitals, okay? Kitang-kita po using this location and nearby feature on the phone. Alright. Now, when we ask about the property, right, of course, pag isa siya sa mga options natin, we want to contact the agents right away. And also, of course, when you do that, you'll have to plot in your first name, surname, and phone number as well as your email. However, if you prefer na call lang, email lang, or text lang, you can easily just click one of these. Alright. So, for example, ako, gusto ko text muna. Text muna. All I have to do is click SMS and I will just plot in my number. Tapos, yan. The agent will now contact me through text to follow up on my request. All right. So I won't send this right now, okay? But that is how you find your properties using this the phone option and here with the Lamudi apps. All right. So pausing here for any questions, insights. What do you guys think about the app? Ayos ba? Are we going to use it for your property seeking as well? All right. So do we
Okay.
have any questions so far here? Let me check.
Yeah, and while you're checking that,
Mhm.
Clar, again, what I really liked about that walkthrough is, if you just want to talk to your to the real estate professional rather via email, you have that option. If you want to do it via call or SMS, you also have that option. So it's really flexible based on your as well, even with the amenities, diba?
Yes,
um
yes.
yeah, if you really want to filter those amenities, so we have all of those options for you, and you can filter it with all of the features that you want.
That's right. And it doesn't stop there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So meron din tayong feature here that if we go to the next slide, meron din feature that tells us if your property is only for short term or for long term renting. All right. So andyan siya sa more filters. Okay, more filters option as you can see that on that laptop. So, with this, we have all of these tools to help our property seekers. And now that you are here on this journey, you are part of or we are part of your goals and plans with this timeline that we share with you. We hope that you have all of the details, information, as well as your support, right, that you need for you to find your dream property online. All right. And of course, we would like to share with you some website enhancements that we have. And this is something that we share with you because it's also one of the highlights. We did some adjustments here with how we post our listings, with also the visuals. All right. And not only that, we also updated the aesthetics. All right. And as well as thumbnails for the desktop.
Okay.
Ayan. Mhm.
So very user friendly. The Lamudi platform rather is very user friendly.
That's right.
Okay. So before we end with our session for this afternoon, do we have any questions on Facebook or on the chat box?
So far, then, our Facebook is clear. No questions, just shout outs. All right.
Okay, and I'm really glad that we had that steady following
Mhm.
on our Facebook Live. So thank you guys for staying with us. Now you can see here our different pillars, our different learning solutions. So you guys can also watch our micro learning series, which is the LA 180. So you can check that out on our LinkedIn page, on YouTube, and even on our Facebook page. All right. And we'd also like to invite you guys to join our WhatsApp and Viber group. So if you want to get the latest updates on the Lamudi Academy, please feel free to take a screenshot of this. Just scan the QR codes as well for WhatsApp and Viber, and you will be redirected to those platforms. All right. So while you guys are taking a screenshot or maybe just scanning the QR codes, again, we'd like to remind you that we will be having our online housing fair from May 3 to May 31 this year. So you can get exclusive property deals, exciting raffle prizes, and we also have webinars like this one. Yan, for our property seekers. So watch out for that and check out our social media pages to know more. Okay. So with that, we'd like to thank you guys for participating in today's webinar entitled Preparing for Your Dream Home. So this has been Denise from the Lamudi Academy team.
And this has been Clarice or Clar Velardo, parehong is, diba? Your
Uh-uh.
learning partner at the Lamudi Academy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Facebook as well as here on Zoom. But please don't leave yet. Meron tayong selfie time right now. If you can all please turn your cameras on and check, no? Your mag-ayos pala, not check, but mag-ayos so that we can have this selfie session.